Welcome back to a brand new episode of the Bold American Podcast presented by Barstool Sports. Hopefully, everybody joined us last week for our sit down chat with Secretary of VA. And that got a little heavy at times. And it felt like, with everything going on in the world, Iran, and a whole other litany of things, we decided this week, 4th of July, we're going to take it down a few notches. We're going to take it a little easy. We're going to talk about some more fun topics around the 4th of July, some other events that were local for Ryan down there, the South Jersey Shore, I should say. Our day and I Day happening at the academies. I don't know what Air Force calls their day, but no one really cares, so we won't even get into that. But before we get into all of that, last 72, Ryan, how was your last 72?
Last 72 was great. I am down here celebrating, and we're on vacation. I'm off from work for the week and hanging down in Avalon, New Jersey, and just spending time with family and friends. So can't complain.
All right. Mm-hmm. Fairly uneventful, sounds like. Just like relaxing. Talk to me, because I feel like people who have houses down the shore have routines, whereas people who might just take a week down the shore, they try to jam pack 86,000 things into 1 week. But when you're down there all the time, things, it's very fortunate to have that.
Do you want to hear my routine for today? Do you want to hear a day in the life? Okay.
Yeah. So what is it like when you're off from work and you're down the shore?
Yeah. So, I woke up this morning, I walked to the gym, which is about 10 blocks down the road. I got there around 8 o'clock. It was
late. Late. Okay.
Well, it was late. It was kind of late. Yeah. It was very packed. I was mad at myself for going so late. It was packed because it was later, and also it's 4th of July week. So everybody's down buying their 1 week pass to my gym. Went to the gym, came back, did laundry, and did a little work, even though I am off this week. I had a little work to do. And then it was supposed to be a rainy day here. Turned out to be a magical day. Went down to the beach with some of my cousins, my son, and spent like 5 hours at the beach. Then
what do you do? Wait,
5 hours.
Let's pause.
5 hours. 5 hours.
What are you? I think everybody does the beach very differently. What is your beach? Are you? Don't talk to me. I'm going to read a book for 5 hours. Are you sitting around in a circle, listening to music, talking to people? Are you in and out of the water? Are you playing beach games? What are you doing on the beach?
I'm doing all of it. So today, no beach games. Brought the boogie board down for my son. He brought a friend. They were in the water for potentially the entire 5 hours. My son is very sunburnt because I did not continuously reapply. I love the water. I am not one of those people that does not go in the water. The water was beautiful today. I was in and out of the water a lot. I brought a book, but yeah, we were circled up. My cousins and I were circled up and chatting. I went for a beach walk. Yeah, did it all.
Okay. All right. Yeah. Good stuff. Sounds like you're doing the shore right.
Okay.
And but yeah, I was trying to go to I did go to the restaurant where your daughter working part-time, but I didn't see her, unfortunately. But that's neither here nor there. Rob, last 72. You have some news that you might want to share?
Yeah, what's up, guys?
Given that you weren't with us last week.
Yeah, I missed the awesome episode too with old Secretary Collins. But yeah, I had my second baby just under 2 weeks ago. She's healthy. She's amazing. Little Zora. It was a very stress-free birth because my first son was born through emergency C-section. And it was fucking nuts because his body was not responding to the induction medication. So this one was a very smooth 5 p.m. surgery on a Friday night. We slept in the next day. The staff was amazing. It was like the polar opposite experience. But she's amazing. I'm a girl dad now. So cons, I got to get some swag, some merch.
We'll get you some hats.
Yeah. But dude, guys, it's great. Life's good. Just been chilling, enjoying the just enjoying the time with her. It's nice to have another baby again. It's funny to see like this one, the first one, it was so nerve-wracking and we were so anxious. But now I'm like, I got this. It's a completely different ball game with a second baby. But the dynamic is interesting with the older one. Now he realizes he's not getting attention. He's just under 2 years old. He's not getting the attention that he wants from mom because she's busy. So that dynamic is interesting. And it's man-on-man defense now. It's not a zone defense anymore, Connor. It's man-on-man. I got my son. The lady's got the little one. So yeah.
So I can so relate to the emergency C-section followed by the scheduled C-section. Like with my oldest, I had an emergency C-section. And I was crying. I was begging them not to. I did not want a C-section. It was like traumatizing. And then with my second, and no one will ever see pictures from the hospital, the birth of my first, because it was like, I'm terrified when I look at these pictures.
It's a war zone. It's a war zone.
They're terrible. Now,
can I tell you, sorry, really quickly, with regards to a C-section, I never really looked into it. When I thought about a C-section growing up, I thought it was like, that one little cut and it's like, boom, the baby's right there. And it's like, oh, no. They like
take your insides out and like put them to the side of your body. I mean, it is, and there is video. There is literally video of that happening. It's not fun. The recovery is terrible, especially when it's like an emergency situation. And so like with my second, I remember I got my nails done.
Yeah,
I did my makeup before I went to the hospital.
You're going in for a photo shoot. It's
like I am looking cute and like and I recovered so much better too. Like I recovered so much better with my second. And my third, I had 3 C-sections. It was
that was the other thing I learned.
C-sections.
That was the other thing I learned. Once you do one, it's pretty much you got to go all C-section. They advise against going vaginal after C-section.
Yeah, there are certain, like my doctor would not let it's called a VBAC. My doctor would not let me do a VBAC. She was like, nope, you have to get a C-section. Because there is like a chance of like hemorrhaging and like there's, there's complications trying to go back. On some levels, like I kind of feel sad that I missed the actual way you're supposed to deliver a child, and I had my kids like cut out of my stomach, but I also kept a lot of things intact that women don't get to.
See, that's what my wife's stoked about too. The surgery itself, because I'm still fresh out of the OR. Like, even with the first one, like when they put the curtain down over the woman, like, I have full visibility because I'm to the right of her.
But you didn't look. Did you look?
I looked. I'm a sick fuck. I looked the whole time. I was observing the whole procedure. Like, and for the second one, the incision is bigger. For some reason, it was bigger on this one because it wasn't an emergency one. So the doctors took their time. And it was like a 45-hour-long methodical, like I was like in a trance, like, whoa, they got it down. Connor, it reminded me of like a really good fire drill in the FDC when like everything is shit hot. Like that kind of finesse and that operational rigor, like it was really cool to watch. And I wasn't as nervous as like I was on the first one. And then to see them lift my wife's stomach up and then be like head and then go reach into my wife's stomach. And she's like, babe, what's going on? I'm like, don't worry about it. It's all good. And then the way they just like reach in and then yank out the little girl and then the stomach just kind of flattens was so fucking dope to see. Like it was like the adrenaline. It was awesome. And then the doctor was kind enough to, Ryan, you'll appreciate this, to remove scar tissue from the first C-section we had.
Yeah.
So he did her a solid, cleaned up some of the first surgery scar tissue. So there's like less of a scar right now. That's like
awesome. I mean, it is.
Connor's like, what the fuck?
It's the, I can't tell you, it's the craziest feeling ever because there's no pain, but you feel all this pressure. Like you feel everything going on, no pain, but you're just like, there's so much pressure. You like, and then when the baby comes out, all of a sudden you're just like, it just feels empty.
Yeah.
It's wild. And in fact, when I had my third, my doctor was like, you have so much scar tissue, like you cannot have more kids. Like you just can't. Like it would be dangerous. Yeah. So
Oh wow.
yeah.
Huh.
I was like, well, wasn't planning on it. So okay, thanks.
Yeah, for whatever reason, I've seen a lot of things in my life, been experienced a lot of things, but for whatever reason, like childbirth and all that, I don't do well with that.
Well,
like when
you
my
better
daughter
get
was
ready.
born,
Better get ready.
No, why? When my daughter was born, I maintained eye contact with my wife the whole time. I
Okay.
held one leg. I didn't look at a thing. The first thing I looked at was when my daughter came up, and that's what I plan on doing this time around too. I don't want to see any of that. I don't want anything in my memory bank, changed and have that blazing down my brain.
Yeah, but I think it's a little. I get the not having anything in your memory bank when it's like a natural childbirth coming out the way it should. I mean, when you're looking at it coming out of the stomach, it's like a surgery. It's
also Connor. It's right in front of you too. It's like it's almost hard to avoid it. As the guy, when you're in the C-section room, there's so much happening that is like you're kind of forced to see it as the guy, because like I'm reassuring my wife as to kind of I was giving her updates too. She wanted to know what was going on. So I was kind of like
I would ask the doctor or nurses to do that.
I mean, you're lying there and you're
not
lying,
going to.
You're lying flat. Your arms are outstretched. Like it is like the most wild thing. And you're just lying there flat on your back. Yeah. So
it's super impressive. I just don't want to experience it. Knock on wood.
Well, we won't ever fully experience it because you're not a woman, but
that's true too. That's true too. I say that to my wife all the time, like, I wish I could take this on for you and like carry the baby.
Yeah.
And obviously I just cannot do that. I apologize. That's just
but not only could you not do that anatomically, but like you guys could never do it. You just couldn't do it. You couldn't do it.
I don't want to say anything to get myself in trouble.
Don't dig a hole. You couldn't do it.
All right. This past weekend though.
Yeah, what'd you do, Cons?
Well, it was very nice. My daughter turned 2 yesterday. So we had our parents come up and Alex made a very nice dinner on Friday because we wanted to do like the parents separate from the little like birthday party extravaganza thing that we were going to have at our house. And we had that on Sunday. And originally my wife didn't want to make, and I was on board with this. She didn't want to make a massive deal of the second birthday party. I think the first birthday party is like a thing and whatever. And this isn't to judge what anybody else does. Just for us, we didn't want to make it too big of a thing. And originally we said, well, we'll just do like her pals from her school and ice cream, cake, and that'll be the end of it. Well, that was just me and my wife lying to one another because we've never been the type that when we host, we half-ass it.
Yeah.
So it turned into a production. It turned into all of her friends from daycare, all of my wife's friends, 2 of my close friends who live in the area. So it ended up being like, I don't know, upwards of 35 people. And it was scorching hot outside. So we had a great setup outside, but people just kind of naturally gravitated inside because we also had some food outside, but some food would not have sat well outside. So it was inside. So then people, just the way it happens at a party, naturally just made their way inside, outside. A bunch of 2-year-olds running around, just making a mess everywhere. And it was just chaos. Don't get me wrong. My daughter had a blast. She was smiling the whole day, playing on the bouncy house. And thank God we didn't open presents or anything yesterday because that would have just been a nightmare. But it was enough for us to say, like, I don't know that I want to do that again. And it was interesting because I'm sure you guys at some point or another have hosted people in your homes. It is really unbelievable how different it is when you're hosting adults versus toddlers and what a difference that makes. And just it's just, I'll just say it wasn't the most fun. And
is your house set up well for is your house set up like we have a house we're the youngest couple in our Vegas community. Our house is like a beautiful Adobe Santa Fe style home. It's not meant for kids. So like the whole setup is just fucking weird. I mean, we love it, but it's just not hospitable for children. Like, is your house set up well to like have like groups of toddlers in it and like be safe?
No, I really love our house. My wife's done an unbelievable job decorating the whole thing. In our basement, we have a massive playroom. Like if I just threw them all down there, that would work.
Okay.
But no, it's not conducive to a bunch of 2-year-olds.
Yeah.
And 3 and 4-year-olds running around rampant. Our backyard is. And I wish I could have just, but that's the other thing. I can't go up to a bunch of adults and say, hey, get out of the house, go outside right now. Cause that would be rude because it's hot out. I get why you're inside.
Yeah.
But it's like, hey, the water table, the bouncy house, all the toys, everything's outside. Take your kid and go outside. But I get it. It's just, I don't know. It was crazy. Yeah.
So what about
I just
third
like,
birthday?
Well, that's the thing. It's like, you got to do something because you can't just ignore your kid's birthday.
Right.
But like, I feel like there should.
Well, what age do you start doing?
So here's what I'll say with my kids. I got away from like the birthday parties. Like nothing drove me crazier than like, oh, let's go to like, the trampoline place and you spend like $1,000 and like, it's just like, so we started telling our kids, like, we want you to have experiences.
Yes.
So like my son for the last 2 years, Phillies game with 2 of his friends.
Sick.
Like that's all he wants to do. So that's what we've done for him. My daughter turned 16. I took her and three of her friends into Philadelphia. We spent a day shopping in Philadelphia, went to a really nice restaurant. We do stuff like that where it's like, I would rather spend the money on an experience for them like that than a 2-hour birthday party with a bunch of kids, a bunch of chaos, and a bunch of random presents. And that's the thing. Like, I'm like, not doing all that. Like, pick a fun experience that we can do. And that's how we do it.
Wholeheartedly get behind that. And I can't wait until they're old enough to do those sorts of things. Cause I just think it's better for them. It's better. Cause like, let's be honest, like I don't think there's parents out there who look at their social calendar and say, ooh, I got a 2-year-old's birthday party this Saturday. Can't wait to get there. Like you go, it's
they hate
for
it
the
too.
kid to hang out.
Yeah.
Maybe you'll have a few drinks and you'll kind of hang out. You'll get some food, whatever. But it's not like, oh my God, I'm overjoyed to go to a 2-year-old's birthday party.
Yeah.
Because it's not for me. Right. So yeah, I guess we got to strike a balance the next few years, like 3, 4, 5. I don't know. Like, I don't know what that age is.
I mean, I think it's probably around like 6 or 7, I think is fine, Okay. Yeah. And like, for Maggie, it could be like, you take her to the, actually, in fact, my Maggie, I remember taking her to New York with my aunt and her cousin to the American Girl doll store.
Yeah,
and like, that was her birthday. And we brought her in, we did the tea there. She got to pick out like her own doll. Like, so you could do it pretty young. In a few years, you'll be ready.
Okay.
Yeah.
We'll see.
Yeah.
But anyway, yeah, that was hectic. That was crazy.
How was the cleanup? How was the cleanup after that? That's always.
Well, that's the other thing. When I'm hosting,
that's like,
and again, this is different with adults because you don't have to do as much. When I'm hosting, I'm one of these people that kind of cleans as the party's going. There was just so much going on that I just felt like I was cleaning the whole time. And I know that makes my guests uncomfortable. They probably see me running around and I'm trying to like get people drinks, but I'm also cleaning up. And it was just my own neuroses takes over. Whereas with adults, like adults aren't going to leave wrappers of sun chips all over your house.
Melted
like they're gonna,
candies and shit.
Yeah, exactly. The amount of juice boxes that had like a half a sip taken out of them and just left.
It's like those red Solo cups when people would fill them up, take a sip of beer, forget it at a frat house. That's what you're encountering now with fucking sippy cups.
Yeah, it was bananas, but it was still a very nice time. I'm very fortunate that we where we moved and where we ended up sending Maggie to school, like she has, I think kids will make friends with all the kids they're in class with, but the fact that all of their parents are all normal, first of all, but then also like people I like, me and my wife like spending time with, and are people that we would spend time with without our kids. We got very lucky in that regard. So overall, it was a very nice day. You know, I'm not complaining, but sound like I'm complaining about something that was a very, very nice day. And credit to my wife, who at 8 months pregnant, you know, we had a list of things we had to knock out, and she did so much for this party, and it was just unbelievable. So Ryan, to your point, no, I've never planned a 2-year-old's birthday party whilst 8 months pregnant. So I'll give my wife credit for that. I'll never know what that feels like. Yes.
There you go.
But the opposite probably of birthday parties would be your first day at a service academy.
Oh,
unless you go to Navy, because that looks like a birthday party.
Great transition.
I knew that's where you were going.
I mean, there was a picnic at the end of the
it's
first
not
day.
It's not a picnic, okay?
I'm sorry,
I knew that's how you're going to dive right in.
There were blankets on the ground, people sitting with
smiles.
their families,
lots of smiles,
snacks.
The smiles are fake. The smiles are fake, okay? I just went through this okay, it's not 90 seconds like it is at West Point. I get it. It's like say goodbye. I get it. So we have not seen those kids all day. So I will walk you through. We dropped Maggie off last year. Maggie off last year in the morning. You know, they go through all the processing. I didn't see her all day long. There is, right after they take their oath, there is like, it's maybe 25, 30 minutes, okay? Where you get to see your kid before they leave. And yeah, I have pictures of Maggie, and she's got a big smile on her face. She also, in between me saying freaking smile, she's like, oh my God, what, you know, she's sweating bullets. When she got in line to, you know, march into Bancroft, the kid next to her was hysterically crying, and I'll never forget it.
Good.
He was huge. He was like 6 feet tall, and he was just melting, and I felt so bad for him. But like, you guys act like it's so different that there's like, I mean, it's not. And like, we can joke about it for sure. But at the end of the day, you know, plebe summer for cadets and midshipmen, it's freaking hard. And, you know, I'm being the mom here because I just had one go through it. And, you know, I'm grateful that Navy gave us those 30 minutes to give her hugs and stuff, and, you know, whatever.
It's so nice too. They get to wear sneakers. Their feet are comfy, cozy. They're nice white outfits. They're not too hot. 30 minutes with mom and dad. They probably sneak you some chocolate.
I brought her.
What'd you give her?
I brought her a Caprese sandwich with a Coke Zero and a bag of chips. Yep.
Bro.
I brought it in a cooler. I brought her a lawn chair. She sat in that chair. She ate her sandwich that I made, her favorite.
Sounds like you guys were just at the beach.
Wow. It sounds like you were having a picnic.
Yeah. Maybe it was a little picnic.
Wow.
Yeah.
Yeah. They don't do that at West Point. There's no picnic. They're just yelling. There's 90 seconds to say goodbye to your family. And then that's
also,
it. Also,
Connor, that's at like 7 a.m. That's at like 7
Do you know what you guys sound like? You know what you guys sound like? You know, you sound like the 80-year-old guys that were like, back in my day, you know, we had to walk 10 miles to school. Like, come on, you know? It's like
I just don't understand why you're trying to justify this foofy, soft approach that Navy takes.
It's not foofy.
Your daughter had a Caprese sandwich.
Yeah, because her mom
and
made
sat
it
with her mommy and took pictures with mommy. I mean, that sounds pretty chill to me. Dude, people come to West Point and they're like, I don't know when you're going to see your parents again. Better hug them tight because you're not going to hear from them. Wait, answer me this. And I actually don't know the answer to this. Okay. So I'm genuinely asking.
Yep.
Nowadays with cell phones, do they get their cell phones?
They don't get they dropped their cell phones that morning. No cell phones. I didn't hear from her. They had 2 scheduled phone calls over the course of that 7 weeks. So we wrote letters back and forth. I received a letter from her probably 2 weeks in. And when I got the letter from her, she's like, I still haven't gotten a letter from you, even though I'd sent a bunch. They hadn't made it to her yet. We had 2 scheduled, like 15-minute phone calls. That was it. So,
and then what sort of like military training do they go through that's not on like Navy's pristine, nice, waterfront campus that you all have at Annapolis?
Well, they do
Where do
sea
they
trial.
go?
They don't go anywhere. I don't know. They do sea trials, which is like,
Oh, so they don't go out into the woods and sleep in the mud?
no.
Okay.
But the sea trials, okay, all right. What I mean, my daughter's going out to Pendleton to train with the Marines in a month, I mean, don't act like
follow on. I'm talking about the first summer when you get there. That's all we're talking about.
Yeah.
And it seems pretty chill at Navy. It doesn't seem too difficult compared to now. Listen, is it the same summer you'd have if you were back home in Doylestown? No, I get that it's a little more regimented than that, but compared to West Point, it seems like a cakewalk.
Well, I don't know. I mean, yeah, I guess it's a cakewalk, and it's funny because for a bunch of like pansies at Navy, we still managed to beat you guys in football last year. So I don't know. I mean, yeah, it's kind of crazy. Beat you in lacrosse, women's lacrosse too. All the sports that matter. I mean, yeah, it's crazy.
I guess
I don't know.
All the picnics and mommy time and
yeah,
time with mommy,
I guess those football players were both up on Caprese sandwiches, and so they were able to walk out on the field in that December, and beat the shit out of Army. So is what it is.
So okay, that is going to work for another year. So assuming Army wins this year, what's your excuse going to be for Navy having picnics and mommy time next summer?
Well, let's have that conversation like December 12th after the game.
Okay.
Actually, there is nothing more I'm looking forward to this year than recording this podcast the Monday after Army Navy. I can't wait. Like, I can't wait.
Careful what you wish for.
I can't wait.
Wait, Rob, you posted a video today, though. I'd never seen this before. You posted it like 30 minutes ago.
It was right before we went live. Yeah.
Yeah. So at the end of our day, well, not the end, but in the evening time where we do the parade, it says like, hey, all right, cool, you're here. And that's as close as we get to our parents. If they stick around the whole day and they sit in the stands, but you can't wave to them or anything. So they might catch a glimpse of you, even though everybody more or less looks the same.
Yeah.
But Rob, what happened in the video you posted?
So yeah, at the culmination of our day, before you go into your room and you cry, there's the famous parade where you're super uncomfortable. You just got your buzz cut. You don't know where your parents are. You don't know where you are. And you just learned how to march, right? Like for the last 3 hours in the heat, you just like literally got beat to a fucking pulp about marching. You start marching outside, and apparently one of my contacts sent me a video of a new cadet, a kid on our day trying to be a cadet, just walking out halfway through the parade, walking out of the parade into the stands towards their parents. That's the level of intensity we're talking about at West Point. Like, even though
there was the same thing. There was a girl that hid in her room during the,
that's not the same
during the march out. But I mean, yeah, but like kids quit. They get there and they go, holy shit, what did I just
walk out when the parade
I mean, that's bold.
Going by the
bold.
superintendent and the generals and the general box, where our friend Tom Theodorakis and all the dignitaries are, to walk out of the parade right there in front of all those VIPs and to say fuck it, take the glove off.
Do you see what happens? Like, do his parents come? Like, do you see the?
So here's the thing about that, Ryan. When you want to quit West Point, regardless if it's an hour in or 46 months in,
you got to process
2 or 3 weeks out process.
Yeah, it's the same at Navy too.
Yeah.
I mean, I remember I was there a week in with the Travis Manion Foundation. We actually present to the plebes. My friend Joey Fay does the plebe presentation every year. And I went last year because I was like, well, I'm going this year. I want to see it. Yeah. And there was a group of kids that were outside of all the different companies, and it was about 6 or 7 of them just walking with a detailer after the presentation. And the commandant actually said, good evening, gentlemen. And the way he said it, I was like, oh, who are they? And he's like, oh, they all quit. And he said, but they haven't been out processed yet. So they're still coming to your presentation. They're still like, they still have to be a part of everything. And I'm like, oh man, that's why there's actually a company at the academy during plebe summer. I forget what it's called, but it's like, those are all the kids that like quit, but they're still like out processing.
We have it at West Point too. It's like I was actually a company commander for that. It's called like Summer Garrison. It's like all the kids who are hurt, the football players who are waiting to go between like airborne schools or something. There's like a unit for that. I was in charge of that. And a lot of them are like the shit bags. The kids are getting kicked out or the kids who are quitting. It's a thing. But there's a lot more kids that are quitting on our day at West Point because
and also, I mean, you know the story of Shane Gillis, right? If you've heard him tell that story, he said, I was marching, and the whole time I was marching, I was like, I'm freaking out of here. Like he's like, I knew it from the second my parents dropped me off. I was like, yep, ain't no way, you know? So I think you kind of get to that moment and you're just like, but God, all of that. And I think about it as a parent. Like, imagine being those parents that their kid like pops out during the parade. Oh my God.
It's tough.
That's so tough.
I guess you'd rather be the parent that has nice picnic time and picture time and sandwich time. I guess that's a nicer experience for sure. No, for sure.
Wonderful experience. Yeah.
What's interesting too, though, for as soon as the first person quits on our day at West Point, the other cadets who are there doing summer training in different parts of post, they make a big announcement and everyone goes nuts and cheers. So that one coming that early is pretty good. Although there's usually ones that happen earlier in the day. So
yeah, the first one is there's like there's a whole like bell system too. Like Connor nailed it. Like there's like a huge thing, and like it's part of our culture.
But then I just thinking about this too. It's a shame because you know how many kids don't get in that's probably what they wanted to do their entire life and all they wanted. And then someone else gets in and they're 2 hours in and they quit. Now, obviously you can apply to West Point more than once, but I actually don't know how many times you can apply before they finally just say like, please stop applying. This ain't going to happen for you. But there's definitely kids who are probably like right on that cusp of being qualified or didn't get picked for whatever reason who wouldn't have quit.
Yeah.
So I find that interesting, just given what.
So not only that, but then there's kids too that like decide at the last minute they're not going. I remember when we dropped Maggie off, I was standing next to parents and they had said goodbye to their son, and they told me that he found out 36 hours prior. So he had been waitlisted.
Wow.
And 36 hours prior, he got the call.
Oh, no way.
Yeah. And
what an awesome call. What a shit.
And they were like, we had literally, and they were not from around. They like had to fly in. And I'm like, that's wild, you know, because ours was like this whole build up to her going, getting all her stuff, getting, you know, and I was like,
what do you mean get all her stuff? What all do you get to bring?
You don't get to bring anything. She brought a tiny little backpack with like nothing. I mean,
it's like Nintendo Switch.
You said get all her stuff together.
Yeah.
Oh, just like preparing her. I mean, stop. Like, there's not like you act like just stop. Just stop.
You're the one telling me these things. I never went to school there. I don't know, but you're making it sound like you get to bring like a nice loofah and your shower shoes and maybe some books and maybe your, you know, your phone. You can listen to music. I don't know.
None of that. Maybe one time we should have like a midshipman and a cadet, like recently graduated, you know, just kind of walk through. That'd be kind of fun.
I think it would be cool where if Connor and I get to Annapolis and we're like walked around by you and we just kind of spot and correct and just kind of like, you know, we learn about Annapolis and Connor and I do our thing.
I would love that. I'd love to give you guys a tour of Annapolis.
I've only been there a few times, and usually it's to the football stadium.
Yeah.
So I've never really walked around the campus, so I would do that for sure.
Okay.
It's important to, you know, what is it? What, you know, Sun Tzu, know thy enemy. I'm ready. Okay. All right. somebody who's probably very familiar with the upcoming holiday is the midshipmen there for their first summer. Because did they get the day off and they just celebrate the 4th of July?
They do not get the day off. In fact,
I think Ryan might jump through the screen and try to hit me.
Yeah, they don't get the day off. There are fireworks. I don't think there are fireworks put on for them, but I remember Maggie saying that there were fireworks that night and they brought them all out to where they PT and they sat them down. They weren't allowed to talk and they were just like sitting down and they like watched the fireworks. And Maggie actually said I remember saying like, I wish we wouldn't have done it because it was super depressing. You're sitting there that you're not allowed to talk and you're just sitting on the grass at night watching these fireworks. And she's like, and all I could think about was like you guys, because we go big for 4th of July. And she's like, and it was so depressing. She's like, I was just sitting there with tears rolling down my eyes. She's like, I wish we would have been doing something else. So yeah.
So let's start there. So would you agree that's probably maybe your worst 4th of July memory? The idea of your daughter feeling alone and depressed on the 4th of July.
Yeah, totally.
Right, let's talk. Tell me your best 4th of July memory. And Rob, we'll start with you.
Okay, so my dad worked in the U.S. Embassy in Berlin when I was a teenager, and I think it was 2002 or 2003. The U.S. ambassador Coates under George Bush, he threw a banger of a 4th of July party at his residence in Berlin. Obviously, peak summer, beautiful compound property, like just something like you'd see in like your friends and neighbors, like one of those homes, Connor. Catered McDonald's as a kid. And you're going to love this. Remember the NFL Europe League?
Yeah.
They had Berlin Thunder American players there. So that was like the best 4th of July to me growing up, was like in Berlin at the ambassador's residence, sneaking a beer here and there when I was 12 or something. And just wiling out like a fucking 2-year-old at your house. But the Berlin Thunder were super cool because they were all former like, NFL players who didn't make it, all American.
Yeah, they're just trying to hang on for maybe their next chance.
Right. Yeah. And as a kid,
thing.
you just see these O linemen and these like linebackers. You're like, fuck, like how does someone get that big? You know what I mean? And it was just so cool to see that in Germany. Fireworks, like it was awesome. It was cool.
Yeah. That's cool. That side note, really quickly, that was very cool thing, and it had to have been awesome because obviously you're a rung below the NFL, but in terms of playing somewhere to hopefully get your next shot, being over in Europe, I feel like there could be worse places to be trying to make an NFL roster. But Ryan, what's your best 4th of July memory?
My 4th of Julys have very much been the same exact thing since I was young. Growing up everywhere, we always came back to Avalon for the summers. When we lived in California, when we lived in DC, so this was like where we came for summer vacation. So if any place feels kind of the most like home to me, it's this, because this is where we always came here. Like we always came back to visit our family in Philadelphia, and we'd come down to the Jersey Shore. And so my uncle owned a house, owned a house. He's since passed, right on the beach in Avalon on 32nd Street, right where the barge is, where the fireworks go off. We go there every year. His kids now, have the house, and we go there every year. It's all my cousins. And we sit on the deck. Well, first of all, we wake up, and for the last 5 years, the Travis Manning Foundation does a warrior workout. And so we have like a few hundred people on the beach at 8 a.m. We do a really fun killer workout. And then we go down to the beach with all my cousins. At 4:00 is the egg toss. So the local donut shop, Duck Donuts, brings hundreds of eggs down. You get a partner. It is hundreds of people down the beach.
That's awesome.
And you got to move back, and my cousins have won throughout the years. Some of my young cousins are super athletic, have won the egg toss. It's so much fun. Then
what do you get for winning?
You get like a gift certificate to Duck Donuts, which is
that's awesome.
Yeah, who puts the egg toss together. Then we go to my cousins and we watch the fireworks. We have some drinks, food. And yeah, that's like my 4th of July. And, and it's
Nice.
like, and it's my kids' favorite holiday. We're together all as a family and it's lots of fun. So
that's amazing. I'm jealous of that level of tradition that obviously I'm sure your entire family looks forward to, and what you're getting into.
Yeah.
Whereas like for me, I things have been the same a few times, but I don't have a long-standing tradition like that. Maybe I can hopefully create one day, but I'm very, very jealous of that. But it's funny you mentioned the fireworks or your daughter's memory, because actually I think I was thinking about it, and like my best 4th of July memory was in the midst of my Beast summer at West Point, because I showed up on July 1st. And then on July 4th in the evening, we got marched out to go to Trophy Point. And, you're 3-4 days in at this point. You still really are not sure what the hell is going on, but you can take a breath because you're going to go to the Trophy Point fireworks. And it's very cool because they have the West Point band. And if anyone's ever looking for a fireworks,
they have a band. Oh, wow. You guys get to see a band.
Yeah, you do. You do. This is the one time during Beast where you don't feel miserable.
Okay.
It's called morale. So,
okay.
But the band plays in conjunction with the fireworks show, so
that's cool.
It's a very, very impressive show that they do every year. And I can remember marching out, and I heard the story later. My dad and my younger sister went up for it, and they just happened to be standing next to the path where we all marched by. And I made eye contact with my dad and my sister. I didn't say anything to them,
of course,
but I was like, oh, there they are. And then I went and I watched that show, and I kind of just like, not blacked out, but I kind of just like went to a different place and I was just enjoying the show and taking it in before I went back to Beast and proceeded to get yelled at for the next, 2 months again. But that was just a very, very special memory that I was doing what I was doing. And honestly, like I've had a lot of 4th of July's down the shore or whatever, and they were always good time, but nothing really stood out the way that 4th of July stood out. Conversely, Rob, did you celebrate the 4th of July? I know you obviously mentioned abroad in Berlin, but did you ever celebrate 4th of July being deployed?
One year, the one deployment where I was overseas for 4th of July, I was actually in Kenya. We were waiting for Obama to speak in Nairobi for his first big Africa speech. And I was at a team house with a bunch of SEAL boys and some other 3-letter agency people. And we just got ripped in Nairobi. It was so strange because like we were out with a bunch of UN people, and then Africans at the bar found out we were American. So they started to just do a USA chant. So it was just like, it was like some shit you see in like a movie. But that was a memorable experience. And I was like off duty kind of drinking when my unit was still up in Djibouti. So it was just like a weird situation. I can talk about it now, but when I was deployed, I didn't tell anyone that we were boozing out in Nairobi in the town with a bunch of UN people. But it was a very interesting, eclectic, not really American, but American somehow in some fucking crazy bar in Nairobi at like 4 a.m.
That's actually a really good story. You're definitely not supposed to drink while deployed.
You're not supposed to.
Oh, that's good. The only thing I remember about the 4th of July I spent in Iraq, I was in Balad at Anaconda at the time.
Oh, yeah.
The only thing I remember, we're getting ready to go out on a mission, and I can remember, and I have pictures, I can find them right on a hard drive. There were these super ornate watermelon sculptures, like they carved different things into the watermelon. So I found that to be pretty cool. But that was the only thing I can remember from that 4th of July. Otherwise, that 4th of July sucked.
Yeah,
you just think about
hot
like,
as fuck.
Yeah, hot, but also like I'm in Iraq and I know all my friends are back home having a great time right now.
Oh yeah.
So,
was that Connor? Was that
cool.
Facebook MySpace days? Was that MySpace days?
Yeah. Well, it was 08, so
Facebook.
That was MySpace.
Yeah, that was MySpace. Oh wait,
do you guys not to go divert too far, but do you guys remember what your MySpace song was? Remember, you could have like
Lil Wayne.
Oh my God.
Something Lil Wayne.
Mine was Gwen Stefani, Sweet Escape.
Okay. I don't
So
remember.
don't
what mine
remember
was.
when you clicked on MySpace, like your
Yeah.
song started playing.
And your top 8 friends, Ryan, who are they?
My what?
Your
Your top 8.
Oh, I don't even remember that. I just remember my song because I remember every time I clicked on. It's like, if I
Wait,
could
can you still
escape-
access? You
I
can still
don't
access
think so.
MySpace, right?
It's
Because I would love to
music.
like
I don't
go
know.
back
I'd
and
love to
look
go
at
back.
mine.
Yeah, I've never tried.
I'd be
Speaking of
kind
that,
of scared to
I
check.
feel like if you could,
Well-
it would be a thing. I feel like people would like
Yeah.
start posting their. I don't think you can.
That's true. You're probably right. But one of my buddies likes to say, when he gets reminded of old Facebook posts, or in this case, probably old MySpace posts, it's like, if you don't hate that person, if you don't look back and hate that person, you're not growing enough as an individual. Like,
What?
because I have
You were on MySpace.
no, I'm just saying in general, like the stuff you would put out on social media in like 2004,
Oh my God.
through whatever.
Like, you
Yeah.
get those Facebook memories, right, Ryan?
Yes.
Do you ever see like the
And I-
shit you posted 11
Oh my
years
God,
ago?
I literally
See?
cringe.
Right,
cringe.
that's what we're
right.
talking about.
That's a good
Oh
thing.
my God. Oh,
You
God.
should cringe, because otherwise
Yeah.
you're not growing as an individual. Because
Oh.
if you still look at that and you're like, "Oh, that was pretty good. I nailed it."
No.
You need to cringe.
I nailed nothing.
None of us did. Nobody nailed
there's
anything.
Nothing. Oh my God.
So bad.
Okay. But if you could build out your best 4th of July, Ryan, it sounds like your annual 4th of July is
Yeah.
pretty
Yeah,
much.
that's my best. That's what I would build out. It's just like family, friends, like, and here's the thing. So a few years ago, I don't know if you remember this, if you guys know the song. I don't know if it's Toby Keith that sings it. It's called "Happy Birthday America." Do you guys know this song?
I don't think so.
Happy
Maybe if I heard it.
birthday, America! It's the 4th
Oh,
of
wait,
July.
now I know it. No.
It's so good. So my cousin started playing that one day on the beach, and my dad's like, "What is this song?" I mean, and so my dad will play that song on repeat on the beach all day long on the 4th of
That's
July.
kind of gangster. I like
It is, but like, I don't know. It's like we put up a big American flag. It's so Americana. I can't explain it. So
Ryan, here's something for you. What are you guys gonna do, or what are we gonna do for the 250th next summer?
well, there's a lot going on in Philly. So I'll share.
I think we got to go big for that as the Bold American show.
Yeah.
We got to do something.
All right. Well, what's your perfect 4th of July?
Honestly, Ryan, I want you to text me
you
your
wanna
rundown of
just
what you do.
You just
and I
want to
want
come
to
join mine?
replicate that.
Okay. Sounds good. You have to have a house on
Um,
the beach where the fireworks go off right from there.
All right. I'll work on that part. I don't have that part down yet. I'll work on that. But
Okay.
that's hey, listen, that's an important note. It's an important note to have.
We have Stock's pound cake from Philadelphia. You got to have the Stock's pound cake. Bring it down frozen. My aunt brings it, it's a whole thing. It's magical.
Nice. Rob, what would you...
and then wait, I'm sorry. I'm interrupting.
Go ahead.
The best part is so where their house is when the fireworks are over. And this is actually, I could say this is actually one of my favorite parts. When the fireworks are over, there are thousands of people that go onto the beach to watch the fireworks. And so they're all coming off of the beach, and we blast like God Bless America, whatever song it is, like all like Americana songs, as they're all walking off the beach, and we stand on the deck and we're all singing, and then people are walking off the beach with their chairs, and they see us up all on the deck, and like they start joining in. So yeah,
you got to send us some of this content. I need to see what this.
All right,
like,
I'll get some
a hard
content to
time.
share. I'll get some content to share.
Yeah,
You ever
yeah.
have? I mean, but here's the thing: it is a lot of people from Philly. So do you ever have people walking past your house, MFing you because you have a nice house on the beach and they don't?
No, it's not like that at all. Not at all.
Jealous? Okay, all right.
No.
Rob, how would you build out your perfect 4th of July? What would it look like?
Okay, USA would probably win some like international sport, like a soccer game.
Ooh.
Or that's really the only summer sport, right? For 4th of July. Like next summer is the World Cup, America's 250th. USA beats
Is the
someone
World
like
Cup going to be over 4th of July? Like, does the
Yup.
timing work out?
mid-June to mid-July. So like my perfect
Wow.
scenario is like US men's soccer kick the shit out of like Iran or someone.
How do
right?
we get better between now and then?
It's Iran. It's Iran.
Oh yeah,
Didn't I
you
say
missed that.
Iran?
No,
No,
Connor
Go
kept
ahead.
saying Iran all
It's
last
both.
week.
It's like Iran. It's like Iraq,
No,
Iraq.
no, it's not. It's actually not. It's Iran.
allegedly it's phonetically
We,
it's Iran.
Is that what I missed last week?
we
You guys talking
fact-checked
about
it.
Iran?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah,
Mm.
that was Instead of talking about what happened, I started making fun of Connor for saying
Oh shit.
Iran wrong. So
Yeah.
Well, yeah.
But okay, seriously though, how do we get better between now and then as a country in soccer?
So we can do it. We actually have the talent for it. A lot of the best soccer players right now on the US team are sitting out and they're hurt. So they're all resting up for next
Okay.
summer. We
Oh,
just
all right.
beat a good Costa Rica team, I think, in PKs. I think we can make it into quarterfinals, maybe semifinals if we had some of that like what was that hockey tournament that just happened, the Four Nations League? If we had some of that like
yeah.
some of that like American vibe and essence, I think behind the team, I think we could go far.
Yeah, maybe from the 250th we'll garner some support and some chutzpah and we'll be good to go. I don't know. We'll see.
Yeah.
Who are like the good teams right now? Who are the good countries in the world?
Spain, France, Germany. Spain,
Usual
France,
suspects.
Germany, Portugal. Yeah.
Okay.
Cristiano Ronaldo's
right.
still doing it at age 40. He's still cooking at 40, dude. He's nasty at 40.
That's cool.
I feel like, not to get too far off topic, but I feel like you can do that in soccer even more so than any other sport, just due to the lack of contact, right? And it's less wear and tear on your body. I'm not saying there's no wear and tear,
Yeah,
but relative to other sports, like you're running, so you're obviously in shape. You're running 5 to 7 miles a game or whatever the
you know what's funny?
10 miles.
You actually nailed it. Like Leo Messi, who plays on Inter Miami, and Ronaldo, you see them run less nowadays.
Yeah,
you don't see them
Yeah.
attack the ball. They walk and they know their place. So
Yeah.
they're probably running 3 to 4 miles at the most a game, but they know when to exert that energy. And like you'll see Ronaldo's my height, 6'3", maybe 6'4". On the pitch, dude, he's just fucking walking until he really needs to go. Like he's not even jogging anymore, or Messi. They're not even doing like crazy warm-ups.
That's cool.
Longevity.
So yeah, hopefully, I mean, hopefully we can have a good showing next summer in the World Cup.
We're hosting, right? You're hosting at MetLife.
Yeah, dude. How does MetLife get a game? That's so absurd. I get
the final
the
game, dude. The final game.
I know. It's like I get the proximity to New York City and the melting pot that is New York City, but MetLife is such a trash stadium that nobody likes, and it is one of the biggest laughing stocks in the NFL. So I don't know.
Is Philly hosting, Ryan? Is Philly a host city for the World Cup?
I think it is, but don't quote me on it. I'm not really.
Real quick, too, on the soccer note, there were 2 South American teams, one from Brazil and one for Argentina, I think, and their fans showed up at the link last week. It looked fucking
nuts. Dude, there was like a fire
nuts
at the link. There was some crazy stuff. Yeah,
like it was cool to see that stadium with soccer fans. Like you always see it for Army, Navy, or football. It was kind of a vibe.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Cool.
All
right. Last thing I want to do, I want to build out your ideal 4th of July meal. I want everyone to pick a main dish, a side, and a beverage, and consume that dish. Assume you can get everything. Consume that dish in one of America's iconic locations. And interpret that as you would, but please build out your ideal 4th of July meal in your ideal Americana location. Who's ready to go first?
What is it? A main dish, a side dish, and a drink?
Yes.
Okay. I mean,
go, Ryan.
I would say
I want to hear yours first.
A cheeseburger.
Okay.
Like a pasta salad or like a bean salad, some sort of like.
Okay. A good side. Yeah.
And a really, really cold beer. Do you want the actual beer?
Yeah. What kind of beer?
I mean, I love Michelob Ultra.
Like a
so-
Yingling? Okay.
So I hate Yingling. And
All right. I just figured because you're Pennsylvania, maybe you're
no, I don't love the taste. A Michelob Ultra. And
Okay.
where, I mean, again, I'd want to be
more.
like, I want to be here, but I want to be like on the beach. But if I wasn't somewhere Americana to be watching it, you know what I think would be cool? I think being somewhere out like in like Montana or something like that, like on a ranch somewhere, would be kind of cool. You know?
Okay. Rob, what do you got?
As the former marketing officer of a national hot dog brand, I would have to go with a couple good wieners. A pasta salad as a side is solid.
Mhm.
I'm a big fruit guy. A good like watermelon side is always fucking amazing, especially with any cocktail. I'd probably have to do
The other
like
good thing
drink.
is about watermelon, when you eat watermelon, you feel a little bit healthy then about drinking like 32 beers.
There's
Yes.
a good watermelon, and I've had a watermelon feta and mint salad.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah.
I'll fuck that up.
Yeah, that's really good. Yeah.
I'll fuck that up. And then if I had to go with a drink, tequila, some sort of maybe like margarita. It's not really American, but like that just goes well. And then where?
Mm-hmm.
Dude, I've had some good 4th of Julys in Austin, Texas out. I don't know why, but something in Texas. I feel like
Yeah, that makes sense.
Ryan's Point, maybe at like fucking Fort Worth at like the ranch, like the PBR stuff, like I don't know, something Americana in Texas would be cool.
Yeah.
Okay. I can get down with that. I also would go hot dog just because like hot dogs are prevalent throughout the summer at barbecues, but I feel like at 4th of July, especially, obviously big news this year, Joey Chestnut coming back to the Coney Island hot dog eating contest, which is awesome. Forget whatever happened last year. He's going to come back, thinks he's going to break his own record, which is crazy.
69
Dude, like 2 summers in a row, actually, down the shore at my shore houses, we had pretty organized hot dog eating contests, and I won it back-to-back years. I ate like 12 one year, and this was in 10 minutes. 12 and then 10 minutes. In 10 minutes. Let me tell you, for 45 minutes to an hour after, you just feel like such garbage.
Yeah.
So I cannot imagine consuming, like 70 hot dogs.
Well, he trains for that. You have to train.
Yeah. He's a different beast.
Yeah.
I'm just telling you, because I feel like hot dogs are one of those things too where you can eat a lot of and not really think too much about it. Like before you know it, you've had 2-3 hot dogs and you're like, oh wow, all right. But but I would still go hot dog. I'm just gonna go a very simple watermelon wedge, just because it's easy to eat. And again, when I'm drinking 32 Miller Lights, because that's what I would drink, an ice cold Miller Light, I'm gonna need that watermelon to just offset mentally that I am just consuming a lot of beer and hot dogs. So we got to balance that with the watermelon. And as far as location, like the easy answer is the shore. The easy answer is somewhere like Trophy Point at West Point.
Right.
Boy. Well, this is like Americana capitalism. I don't know, like on the 19th hole of a golf course at a country club. Does that make me sound too prissy?
Yeah. So, oh my God, yes. Change your answer. Change it.
Oh man. All right, I'm actually looking at a map right now and trying to come up with a better answer than that. Oh man. Yeah, I've never been to I'm a sucker for stuff they say you got to see and at least once. I've never been to Mount Rushmore.
I was going to say
cool.
You're going to say Mount Rushmore.
Yeah.
I mean, I mean, it's a gorgeous part of the country that is so untouched.
That's a much better answer. Much better.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
Mount Rushmore, Montana, and Texas. That's pretty Americana.
Better than Pittsburgh.
There we go. Okay. Just wrap it up here really quickly. Mel Brooks, Army veteran, turned 99. I think everybody has a good Mel Brooks movie they like. So shout to him for turning 99. Rob, what were you making of? Yeah, Army veteran. Rob, what were you making of Jason Kelsey at his Avalon event down the shore?
It's actually
or were you talking?
Sea Isle.
Sea Isle. Yeah, sorry, the OD in Sea Isle there.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, people kept sending me that video of him in a mankini or speedos, whatever, and I was like,
Yeah.
why are people sending me this? So I just wanted Ryan, what's going on with the Kelsey?
So that event is for and it's for autism awareness.
Okay.
They do it every year, the Eagles. They come down to the OD, which is a big bar
Nice.
down in Sea Isle, and do a big fundraiser. It draws like thousands of people. I mean, and like Jalen was there.
Yeah.
Kelsey was there, Cooper DeJean. Like, it's not, it's all the big guys there.
Nice.
Dude,
And
Cooper DeJean looked ripped.
Yes.
he did.
What's he on? What's my boy on?
He looked good. I kept getting sent the video of him.
Yeah, how about that? He looked good.
I didn't say it like that.
He looked good.
No, that's not how I said it. But
Ryan, that's exactly how you said it.
Oh my
He
God.
looked good.
Take that out. Take that out. There was
I guess we
there
know
was
who Ryan's favorite new player is on the Eagles.
Yeah.
You look good.
I didn't say it like that. But there was a
You
video
did.
of him where he goes to walk behind the bar and he takes his shirt off. And the girls were going crazy. But
Because
listen,
he looked good.
does he look good? Yeah.
He looked good.
That's Jason Kelsey for you. He's
Yeah.
getting a rise. The best thing is that I saw about that whole thing that I thought was awesome was like there was a waitress at the OD and she was standing there. And there's a video of her where like her jaw just drops when he rips his shorts off. And she's like, and he changed his profile picture on Twitter to her face.
That's
To
funny.
that
I
image.
saw that. Yeah.
And so I thought that was really kind of cool.
That's awesome.
But,
He's playing with it.
Kate goes down there every
She does a
year.
big family thing.
And she does
every
it
year.
that week. So she was over at the event I saw, and
Mhm.
yeah, I mean it's just like super fun.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
That's just like a really large human to all of a sudden see
Yeah.
a Speedo. I mean, because
Yeah.
he's still like, it's not like he just went and got skinny and he like started sucking down Ozempic or doing
He's
shots.
A big boy. He's a big boy.
He still looks like he could play.
Yeah.
So to see a man of that size be that agile and jump up there and he's just rocking a Speedo.
Yeah.
Good for him.
Simon Bruce.
Good for him.
Love it.
Yes.
He didn't
So-
look as good as Cooper, but he looked okay.
I mean, everyone has their image of what beauty is. It's in the eye of the beholder, and clearly Cooper DeJean is Ryan's new crush, and that's okay. I get it.
I don't think
But-
I'm alone in that. Just FYI,
No,
I think most
rightfully so. He's a
women in
handsome fella.
Philadelphia would agree that he looked pretty good.
Yes, Cooper DeJean. Listen, pal,
Shout out to Coops.
you're doing everything right. You're
Yeah.
handsome. You got a Super Bowl ring now.
Yeah.
On his
You look great
birthday.
with your shirt off. I
Right.
mean, I don't want to go too far on this because I don't want to get myself in trouble.
You
But
keep going.
I know you want me to, but why don't you keep going? All right, I think that's probably a good spot to wrap things up for this week. Any caveats, anything that we missed going over the 4th of July or going into the 4th of July this week?
No, I think just like
Mhm.
happy 4th, everyone. Thanks for all the love you've given to this show. I think it's been awesome. And I feel like the 4th of July is like our unofficial holiday as a podcast. So it's a big week for
Yeah.
us,
Well said,
Mhm,
Ryan.
mhm, mhm.
Well said.
Right, Rob.
Go America. I'm fucking hanging out the next few weeks, months. Everything's good. Life's amazing. I'm almost at 6 months sober. This will be my first 4th of July sober since I was a
Amazing.
kid. Oh,
Wow.
lots of personal growth this year. I love it though. And I'm honored to be here with you guys. We're almost on episode 20. So how fucking cool is that?
Mhm,
That's
mhm,
Well,
mhm.
proud of you for that. 6 months sober is
Appreciate
awesome.
that.
Yeah.
Okay, a few things. To all those parents who have children who are at one of the academies, and seriously, I have no idea what Air Force is like. I have to imagine it's
Zero
incredible.
idea.
But if your son or daughter is at Navy, I'm sure you'll get to talk to them soon, or
Tonight,
maybe you'll get
tomorrow.
maybe they'll do like a whole afternoon where they do
Say
visiting
something
hours.
nice. Say something nice. You were going to say something nice. Just keep it nice. Come on.
I was going to say to all the parents of new cadets at West Point, congratulations. That's an incredible honor. And your children, you won't be able to communicate with them save for letters, but just know that they're going through a great experience and they'll be okay. And I'm sure those Navy kids will be okay too, whatever. I will say, and I tend to say this, I think I've said it multiple times on the 4th of July. We have a lot of warts as a country. I think it's impossible to go through this life as an individual and especially as a country and come through unscathed. There are very few people who just toe the line, don't make mistakes. But at the end of the day, I still wholeheartedly believe this is the greatest country in the world. And I think 4th of July is a great time to highlight all of the good. I think so often people just want to talk about all the bad that they perceive. Why don't we talk about all the good, all the great things about this country and what makes it the greatest country in the world to live in, and just take a moment on the 4th of July and maybe just say thanks that we have all of these amazing things. And I appreciate all those who are currently serving in our military, defending our right to that freedom and keeping us safe. We appreciate you, all of you, and keep going. Thank you very much. And as far as a safety brief goes for all of them, I won't make it long. I will just say make good choices, because you do not want to come in on the 7th of July and have to go and explain to your commander why you ended up in jail on the night of the
I've been there
4th.
before. Don't do it.
Yeah, it's not worth it. Make good choices. Make good choices. Just ask yourself, if I had to call and tell Cons what I did to land myself in jail, would he be happy? And I probably wouldn't. So just don't do it, whatever it is. But overall, make good choices. Be safe. Everybody enjoy your family, your friends, and your freedom on this 4th of July. Make it a great week.